I bought my way out of margin jail, and I'm back in Robinhood's good graces. So stay tuned to find out what happened to the account over the last 2 weeks. I'm on the hunt for an infinite stream of dividend income, and it begins with my plan to turn $1,000 of Robinhood's money into $1,000 of my money. Keep in mind that this is not financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. You need to do your own research for your investments. When I recorded the last video, which was 2 weeks ago, my account was in a margin deficit. The value of my 4 high-yield ETFs had fallen dramatically, and this brought my account below Robinhood's $2,000 equity minimum. This put me in danger of a margin call. I had 2 choices. I could wait for the market to recover and hope that my account value just naturally rose above $2,000, or I could add additional funds to the account, bringing my equity value up. My account was essentially frozen until I resolved the deficit. I was at risk of a margin call, in which Robinhood might liquidate all of my marginable assets, and that would put the experiment on ice. So I decided to add funds to my account, like I did last time. I have PAAA in another account on Robinhood, so I simply transferred 2 shares of the fund over to my individual account. These shares are worth a little more than $100. So adding that amount to the existing PAAA amount bumped me well over the $2,000 threshold. And as you can see from the account total at this time, I've recovered a little bit more than that through share price appreciation and dividends. If we look at the 1-month chart, you'll see how it fell down. This is when I was in margin trouble. It's recovered a decent amount, but my 2 shares of PAAA really helped and got me out of the hole immediately. I thought about adding more than 2 shares to really put this behind me. But since this experiment is really grounded in the idea of a small account, I decided to go small again. If we take a look at the buying power, I still have $1 in uninvested dividends, but you can see that I'm at margin status low risk, over 7% above the maintenance requirement. I haven't been in the green low risk category in a while with $158 buffer. Here's a look at the investments that I have in this account and their margin maintenance requirements. I don't really have to pay attention to these because I'm only dealing with the $2,000 minimum. And I don't think Robinhood has changed the maintenance requirements of any of these funds in a long time. Here's a look at my income funds over the last 2 weeks. It's great to see COIW and HOOW up in the positive territory, with WHO up over 16%. NIVI is down slightly, and SNOI took a nosedive at the end of the week, down over 7%. SPY is up almost 1.5% during this 2-week period. When I started this experiment, I had invested in Misty, and a few weeks ago sold all of those positions and bought WHO. So I've been keeping an eye on how Misty's doing. I know Bitcoin overall has been doing poorly recently, and this chart really shows the difference. A 16% price return in 2 weeks is impressive, and this is what I'm counting on from these round hill funds. They are not capped on the upside, and with their 120% leverage, I'm really hoping that they can make up lost ground on share price in the coming months. So let's turn to dividends. I have 2 weeks worth of dividends to discuss. NIVI continued to be strong, paying me over $4 for each of the past 2 weeks. Annualized, these distributions are maybe in that 97 to 102% range. I've been really happy with the consistency of the NIVI dividends. Koi, on the other hand, paid one decent dividend and then followed it up with a bad dividend. 18 cents per share this week represents only about 38% annualized, and I need a lot more than that for this experiment, especially since we've lost so much value in the share price. I split the 90-cent dividend for this week in half and was able to combine the 45 cents with other funds dividends to invest them back into SPY. But I can't invest the 45 cents back into Koi until I get a dividend next week to hopefully get me at least $1 to invest. Moving over to HOOW, you can see that their distribution was a little small too. The most current one only being 52.5 cents per share, which is only about a 47% annualized rate. I ran into the same problem with WHO as I did with Koi in that I can't reinvest those dividends until I get at least $1. Anything you see in red is simply a reminder for me that those dividends have to be reinvested. SNOI, on the other hand, had a great second week dividend, almost doubling what it had the week before, and this represents about a 97% annualized yield. Since I just received those dividends Friday night, I haven't had a chance to reinvest them, but the order has already been placed and it'll execute first thing Monday morning. Finally, I did get a dividend from SPY at the end of November. The amount per share is right on pace with what I would expect, and I'm happy to see that reinvestment amount growing. It's still not very much money, but because I keep investing into SPY, this dividend was over twice what the first one was. So in my mind, that's a win. If you take a look at my SPY position history, you can see I've just been making tons of micro purchases. And it's added up to over 2.5 shares. And if we take a look at the total return for this account, you can see it's still not a very nice picture. The 4 high yield ETFs are down almost 30%. Although I am happy to see that KOI and WHO have improved slightly, both of those positions were down over 50% recently. When you combine the 30% deficit of the 4 high yield ETFs with the 100% profit of the SPY position, you can see the account is down about 16%. Not too long ago, the NIVI position and the SNOI position were in the positive, but those have both really fallen in the last couple weeks. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the like button and subscribe for future updates. And remember, none of this is financial, legal, or tax advice. I'm just inviting you along my journey. And if you'd like to learn more about my small account margin strategy, check out the first 5 videos in the series. Good luck hunting those infinite dividends. Take care.